A very good evening. This is Avinindra Som and you're listening to the News Roundup on Gold FM.
The top story on Gold FM.
In an explosive Truth Social post released this evening, US President Donald Trump issued a grave warning stating that a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again unless Iran agrees to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and accepts a deal to end the conflict by his 8 p.m. Eastern Time deadline. The full statement reads as follows: "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran." Trump reminded Iran of the deadline during the special White House press conference too.
And an entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock, and it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We have to have a deal that's acceptable to me, and part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil.
In response, Iran has called on civilians to form human chains to protect key power plants and energy facilities from potential attacks. Iranian state media reports that people are mobilizing across the country in a show of defiance and solidarity. Now, meanwhile, blasts have been reported in several Iranian locations, including a strike on Karg Island, a vital oil export terminal, and an Israeli attack on a rail bridge in Kashan. Tensions remain sky high as the world waits to see whether Tehran will make any last-minute move to avert what could be a devastating escalation. We can now cross over to an analysis from Professor Michael Clark on whether these threats against Tehran would actually materialize.
Do you think that an escalation later on today is possible?
I've always thought he wouldn't do it, partly because it won't get him anywhere strategically. It just takes the war completely out of control, and his control. And he always does find a way out of these things. But he's walked himself into a very, very tight corner now. And there are still a couple of things that could happen, in the sense that he could say, well, because of events in the last few hours, I've decided to give them another few days because we're making progress somewhere. Or strikes which are not these apocalyptic strikes that he's been threatening 4 hours to destroy a country and that sort of ridiculous thing, that he might so involve himself in some strikes and then say, well, I'll pause now so you can see what we can do, and buy himself a bit of time. So there are ways in which this could be off-ramped. Against that, my instinct is that that's what he would be looking to do. But against that, the fact is that when, in the past, when the Americans have built up this sort of force, and whether against Venezuela or in this case, they've tended to use it. They tend to press the go button rather than the go home button. And secondly, there's a sense in which, because he's in such a tight spot now, it looks as if somebody's gone early. The things that we're hearing about today, the attack on Karg Island, assuming it's the Americans, maybe the Israelis, I'm not certain, we don't know. But if it's the Americans, and they're attacking bridges, which is what he said would be the target set for tomorrow, they've gone early. Why would they do that? Why give the Iranians, again, the propaganda victory of saying twice we've been in negotiations and you've attacked us while we're negotiating? This is the third time we are technically in negotiations and you've attacked us while we're in negotiations. That's a propaganda victory for them with the global south. Why would the Americans do that? Unless the Israelis are trying to bounce the Americans into going early, which is plausible, but I don't know. Why would the Americans be going early? There is a sense in which there's a momentum that seems to have started a couple of hours ago, which is leading him into a pretty disastrous set of circumstances.
Now, in the meantime, in a major security incident in Istanbul today, gunfire erupted near the Israeli consulate, leaving at least 3 people dead and 2 Turkish police officers injured. According to Turkish media and officials, 3 attackers approached a police checkpoint outside the building housing the consulate and opened fire, triggering a fierce exchange that lasted around 10 minutes. Now, in the meantime, in another update, Iran has reportedly closed all diplomatic and indirect channels of communication with the US. Any and all message exchanges have also been suspended, according to Iranian media.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Former Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation Chairman Sarath Kungahage, as well as former Additional Director General Devapriya Abesinghe, stand remanded until the 17th of April. The Colombo Chief Magistrate issued the order today following the arrest by the Bribery Commission for causing financial loss to the state broadcaster. They face allegations of recruiting 6 employees outside the approved cadre to serve on their personal staff of former Minister Keheliya Rambukwella. Now, meanwhile, Nuwara Pradesh Sabha Chairman Velu Yogaraj also remains in custody until 17th April following his arrest by bribery officials. Investigators charged him with corruption after he bypassed official procedures to approve a construction plan on state land in 2021. President Anura Kumara Dissanayaka unveiled a comprehensive 3-month relief package in Parliament today to support citizens affected by the ongoing Middle Eastern conflict. Under the new measure, the fertilizer subsidy for farmers rises from 25,000 to 30,000 rupees, while additional crop subsidies also see an increase. Aswasuma welfare beneficiaries will receive a significant boost for April, with the 17,500 rupee allowance increasing to 25,000 rupees and the 10,000 rupee payment rising to 15,000 rupees. The President also confirmed a 2,500 rupee hike for individuals in the transitional phase as a part of the emergency financial support. Furthermore, the President stated that those consuming electricity under 90 units will receive a relief, and the total amount set aside to fund that relief is 5,000 million rupees a month. The government has finalized an integrated transport plan to accommodate the influx of passengers travelling to their hometowns for the upcoming new year, starting tomorrow and continuing until the 20th of April. An additional 800 daily trips will be added to existing bus and train schedules. Litrogas has assured the public of an uninterrupted supply of gas during the New Year period. While the average monthly demand is approximately 28,000 metric tons, the company has already ordered 38,000 metric tons to meet the festive surge. Officials confirmed that significant stocks are currently held in floating warehouses in the Maldives, with further shipments expected to arrive throughout April and early May.
Now for some news in brief.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board announced a 12-hour water cut for Pelanwath and several areas due to the prevailing dry weather conditions. Accordingly, the water cut will be in effect from 8 p.m. tonight to 8 a.m. tomorrow.
The business news on Gold FM.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange closed at 21,032.46 points after losing 94.14 points today. S&P SL20 index also ended at 5,832.82 points, following a 28.63 point loss.
International news on Gold FM.
The 4-member crew of NASA's Artemis 2 mission now proceeds towards Earth, following a historic transit of the lunar far side. During this maneuver, the Orion spacecraft reached a distance exceeding 248,655 miles from Earth, surpassing the long-standing record established by the Apollo 13 mission in 1970.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Celine Dion announced 6 additional dates for her comeback concert season in Paris this September and October after pre-sales triggered a surge in demand. The new performances are scheduled for September 18th and 25th alongside October 2nd, 9th, 16th and 17th.
sports news on Gold FM.
"18 schools prepare to compete for the championship title as the Dialogue Schools Under-19 Rugby League begins on the April 20th. The tournament structure divides teams into 3 groups of 6, including traditional powerhouses Royal Trinity and St. Peter's. That's it from the news desk for tonight. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates. This is Avinindra Soma for Gold FM News. Have a great evening.